This article is about how we should respond to the last days. Very often we're concerned about the signs of the last days without really considering how to respond to the last days. And if we believe we are in the last days, and there's good reason to believe we are, then how should we respond? And so I point out 10 ways we should respond based on what we read in the Bible. The first one is watch for the signs. Be vigilant. Notice what the signs are. Secondly, stay spiritually awake. Very often we are warned that there'll be spiritual sleepiness. Thirdly, stay sober. Our society seems to emphasize emotional extremes. Actually, the Bible says we should be sober and gird up the loins of our mind. Fourthly, the cares of this world will overwhelm us. The wealthier we become, the more the cares of this world will seem to dominate our lives. Fifthly, the breastplate of faith. The enemy will always want to attack us in terms of our salvation and in terms of whether we're forgiven. Remember, God has forgiven us. In Jesus Christ we have salvation, but the enemy will attack us there. Sixthly, the breastplate of love. Make sure that we have love in our hearts to others and particularly to those in the church. A critical spirit will not be helpful in the last days. 7. Helmet of salvation. Protect our minds. Protect them from false doctrines, but also protect them from everything else that comes our way. Ours is widely recognised to be a society and a culture which is suffering from information overload. But also the computers and all these things can feed us stuff that's really unhelpful. 8. Pray that you may escape the temptations of the last days. Jesus said, watch and pray. We do need to not be foolish, but realise these are times when we need to be more prayerful than ever before. 9. Remember, God is on our side. God is committed to saving us. God is committed to bringing us through. Underneath are the everlasting arms of God. And over us is his wings. So we just remember, God is committed to saving us. Jesus' famous prayer, he said, Father, I didn't lose one. And number 10, point people to Jesus. This is the day of salvation. This is the time for people to be saved. So now, more than any other time, we need to point people to Jesus, because there will become a time in the last days when everything ceases and salvation no longer is available. And so whilst there's the opportunity, now is the time to point people to Jesus. Thank you for listening.